Welcome to Jazz Art, and here's 15 things that is holding you back and stopping you sound like a jazz guitarist. Stick around for the last one because it's a big one that many of you will miss. Number one, the most important of all, you don't actually listen to jazz. So why, in the name of all that's holy, are you trying to play jazz guitar? Sometimes it's because, well, I've done everything else, I might as well try jazz. That's a bit like learning French from a French textbook and never hearing French. You're going to have a bit of a time doing it, right? So go listen to jazz, immerse yourself in the language, how the phrasing works, things like that, and it will help, I promise you, 100%. Number two, you spend endless weeks, months, or years watching YouTube videos. Now, YouTube is a great place. This may seem a little bit weird coming from a YouTube video, right? But the thing is, you're not following a set learning path. And you might be watching a video from Mike Hayes one day, and then after that you're watching one from Jens Larson, and then you might be watching somebody like Jimmy Bruno, who is brilliant by the way, and you're all over the place, and it's not a set routine, and it means you've got all the knowledge just flying about in your head like a jar full of sweeties that's been shook up, or like a snow globe, right? So try and set a set learning path and stick with it. It does help. Number three, related to number two, it's spending endless days, months, weeks and years trying to find the easy way to play jazz, the cheat code for jazz, the trick to playing jazz. This is the thing, it doesn't really exist. There are certain cheat codes for certain chord progressions, yes, but it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. The only approach is learning it properly and using these. Number four, not spending enough time playing actual bloody songs. This is a pet hate of mine. You see it all over the place, and you'll see tabulation at the bottom of the screen, right? While somebody's playing. Or you get a book with tabulation in it, or you see it on a website. And what I notice is people spend far too long looking at the tabulation and not listening to what they're playing, or even looking at the guitar neck, right? That's a biggie. Number five, no confidence in your playing. You'll find that a lot of the time, what you play is less important than how you play it and your intention behind it. If you have confidence in playing and you play a wrong note, although let's face it, there are no wrong notes in jazz, only wrong places to put them, then that comes over in your playing and you're very hesitant. I sometimes suffer from this, especially when I'm doing a video. It's recording anxiety. And a lot of you will suffer from this. You'll play great. The moment you hit the record button on a video or on a home studio, your playing gets 50% worse. You get over it in time. But put a bit more confidence in your playing. Believe every note that you are playing. Number six, you can't hear in your head what a note sounds like over any given chord. So you can't, for example, think, well, the major third over a G major seventh sounds like this. Or the fifth sounds like this, or the major seventh, or a chromatic note. This all helps. It's used to this. It's why one of the ways that old jazz guys used to learn to play was to sing along the notes of, say, an arpeggio, because then it got it into your head. If I asked you now, and you have a rock background, and said, hum me the riff to Smoke on Water, you'll get it. Thunderstruck, you'd sound a bit daft, but you'd manage it, right? Same sort of thing. You've got to internalize that structure. This is very important for people who are coming from a rock or a metal background or a blues background, okay? Number seven, you have no idea what a target note is. Okay, target note, what is it? You've got a chord, right? In fact, you know what? I will pick up my acoustic guitar here because it's right here. So let me play, boom, G major seventh. Now, a target note is, I have the root notes, the major third, because it's a major chord, the fifth, I have the major seventh, and I have the octave, right? Right? They are all target notes that you would be aiming towards in your lick or riff to head towards at the end of your phrase for that chord, right? It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's the basic gist of the whole thing. Learn about your target notes and how to get there. Number eight. Now, this is where the jazz police will be down in the comments and shouting at me, you're too caught up in technique. Let's face it, a lot of people look to the likes of Django Reinhardt because he had two workable fingers these sort of work, but they were glued together, right? And he was playing amazingly fast, amazing melodies, but it wasn't what I call technique based. And I can make you a bet right now, he wasn't going around doing minor 7th, flat and 5th arpeggios every day, right? He wasn't doing that. It was this, the ears. It was down to the ears. It comes back to what I said. It's not what you play, it's how you play it. Technique is not the be all and end all. Is it important? Yes, but it can get in the way. To some degree, there is places like Berkeley where they make a lot of money out of over-theorizing music. In fact, I remember an old jazz guy that Jimmy Bruno quoted, and he said when they started teaching jazz at places like Berkeley, they forgot to ask the actual jazz players. So it's an academic pursuit more than anything else. Can you be a good jazz player learning like that? You certainly can. But I can promise you now, someone like Joe Pass was not thinking along those lines. Number 9, your timing is crap. You're too caught up on things and you cannot feel the swing of the tune. This is really important for jazz. Whereas if you're from a rock or a metal background, it's all on the quarter and 16 and 30-second notes, right? And it's bop, 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 bop. Yeah, it's syncopated, but it's bang on. It's not like ba da ba da da ba da. It's, you know, you haven't got that swing. To me, I'm sort of lucky because when I was about 16-year-old, I used to go out to a lot of live music nights where a lot of people played jazz with my father, and this is sort of ingrained in my head, the swing feel. But please go and learn what swing is. You have to know to play jazz. That's no lie. Number 10 is related a little bit to number 9. You lack feeling, the feel, the rhythm, and the syncopation of the music. You should be able to hear that in your head. It's a bit like drumming on your knees or with a pen on a desk. You've got to get used to that. Try not to go from a theoretical point of view. I'll tell you a little story. I was learning a scale of chords last year, and it didn't make sense until I heard the rhythm of this sequence in my head. I could play it correctly, it sounded a bit rubbish. Why? Because I couldn't hear the syncopation and the rhythm. Once I did, boom, flying, straight away. So work on that. A lot of this you will get from, surprise, surprise, listening to jazz. Number 11, you overplay bloody everything. There is no space. It is dilly 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 dilly. It's, you know, it's 8th notes and 16th notes all over the place. Stop. Just stop, right? You need to have space for the music to breathe. It's a bit like somebody speaking in a monotone voice and never taking a break. You have to leave space for the music to breathe and for the listener to appreciate what's just came, process it for the next part, right? There's nothing wrong to learn to shut up. A really good song to learn that. So what? There'll be a video appearing on here on my channel quite soon. That learns you space. And if you get outside the jazz realm, just look at David Gilmour. That man plays with space probably like nobody else, right? So learn when to shut up. And also, little side note, always play for the song, not your own ego. That's an extra one. Number 12. You are playing and soloing with no intent. What do I mean by that? It's quite simple, right? You can sit and noodle around on any instrument all day and just go up and down scales. I'll go in 6ths on this one, and then I'll do an arpeggio, some diatonic arpeggios. I'll use an enclosure. There's no real intent on what you are trying to say with your music. Another quote that I heard, and I'm probably going to mix it up a little bit. Jazz doesn't require you play like yourself. It demands it. So you'll never play like Jim Hall. You'll never play a guitar version of Miles Davis or John Coltrane. You'll never play like Joe Pass or Django Reinhardt. You learn to play it like you. That is the trick. Find your own voice. It's important. Your voice needs to say something. Number 14, lack of effective practice. Yes, there is time and place for going up and down, practicing your scales, practicing diatonic arpeggios, going through Coltrane patterns, quartal chords, parallel harmony, whatever you want. There's a space for that, right? That's good. But there should always, and I mean always, be space to play songs, right? Because if you're doing this and you're not learning to put it into songs, why the fucking hell are you learning to play jazz? That's just whittling about. That's no different to a really bad heavy metal player sitting and going for half an hour. The next one, number 14, is you only ever play with backing tracks. Backing tracks are great. They allow you to practice. I learned more as a guitar player and a mandolin player playing alongside Gypsy Dave Smith, who is an underground blues and folk legend, for 5 years. I learned more from that guy just by playing with him than I have ever learned from any other musician. So get out there if you can. You might not be able to do that. If you can't, get yourself a cheap looper pedal and put the chords in that you want to solo over. But put some work into your company. Don't just thump, bump, but try and make it more interesting. Majority of your playing is not going to be solos. If you're playing with other jazz musicians, it's going to be comping chords, right? So please, for the love of all that's holy, try and get yourself away from the backing tracks, unless you absolutely have to. The last one, number 15, the very special one. If you've kept yourself around at this point, thank you very much, because this is probably the most important one of the lot. If you come from a rock, a metal background, or virtually any other style of music, this will be your biggest problem. Your note attack, and it will be too aggressive. Imagine the difference between Yngwie Malmsteen, twiddly twiddly neoclassical player, and Django Reinhardt. A lot of the time, they're using exactly the same notes, the same scale, and sometimes the same speed, although something like Django's faster. So why does one sound like jazz and the other one sound like neoclassical metal? A lot of it is down to the attack of the notes. Everything is hyper aggressive, because that's part of rock music, is the aggression behind it and the emotion. Whereas with jazz, it is laid back for a reason. You don't think of aggression as one of your first words when you think of jazz. You think of laid back, chilled, a smoky jazz club, whatever, right? You get what I mean. And one of the best ways to do that is to forget your pick, put it down, and start learning to play it just with your fingers or your thumb. Because, so if I pick this up again, and I'll just pick an intro at random, so we'll go, right? So with the thumb, I can put something behind it, or I can go. But if I pick up a plectrum and play aggressively, it's too aggressive. It's got its place, and especially in gypsy jazz, there are times when adding a little bit of aggression to it can make it sound good, but it should not be your go-to. So calm the aggression down. Chill out, for fuck's sake, it's jazz. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. That's the end of the video. There'll probably be a YouTube video popping up probably here or somewhere from one of the other videos. Give it a watch, give it a like, give it a subscribe. It'll help. This is a new channel, not a lot of subscribers. There will be a lot of videos like this. There will be a lot of playing videos, a lot of tutorial videos, and anything else I can fit in, right? So I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.